welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kelsey and I am now starting to share about motherhood. I've shared about teaching, just lifestyle vlogs, and I am just so excited to be here today. So this is a little bit different than the type of videos that I usually share, but this is more of a sit down video because I'm going to be sharing all about my pregnancy journey so far up to today. And there's a lot of information, but I made myself a little list so I can stay on track and hopefully not make this video like half an hour long. I have had some questions about just like my pregnancy in general, and like I've shared little bits and pieces on a little bit on YouTube, just kind of like bump dates, and then on Instagram, but I wanted to share just a lot more of what my pregnancy has been like. And with baby girl being here in less than a week and a half, actually a week and 2 days exactly, unless she comes earlier, I'm so excited, I'm so anxious, and I just wanted to share my journey. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you have any other questions about my pregnancy or anything like that, just go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. I'll definitely answer them. And here we go. Also, I'm sorry if there's a bit of an echo in the background. I am in baby girl's nursery, as you can tell, literally just sitting on the floor talking to my phone. But I just wanted to be comfortable. And so I kind of wanted to start off with finding out that I'm pregnant. So I actually found out really early on that I was pregnant. We were trying for a little bit, just like 2 or 3 months. I actually got pregnant pretty fast. And it was just me waking up one morning, and I did feel about 2 weeks prior to this was in June, I believe, or early July. But 2 weeks prior to this, I did feel some strong cramping, which I believe is like the implantation cramping that they talk about. I didn't have any bleeding or anything like that, but there was just a day for like a few hours where it's just like strong cramping out of nowhere. I think we were out eating breakfast or something like that. So then a couple weeks later, I decided to take a pregnancy test in the morning before I went to work. And as a teacher, you wake up really early. I think it was like 5 a.m. And so I went to the bathroom quietly. My husband was also getting ready for work, and I took a pregnancy test, and there was a very faint line. I'll try to insert a little bit here from that day. But very faint. So I called my sister freaking out, and then after work that day, I went to her house and we took another pregnancy test, and at that point, that's when it was definitely solid and I was definitely pregnant. So then later on that night, we ended up telling my husband. My sister helped me out with that a little bit. Again, I'll insert kind of as I'm talking like clips or pictures of the events that actually occurred. But we told my husband, and he was in shock. He didn't know how to take it at first. Not like he wasn't happy. He was very happy. He was just like in shock, like, wow, are you being for real right now? And so it took a little bit to settle in, but I did tell my husband later on that night. And then we were just both so in awe. And ever since then, we've just been so focused and excited to meet our, what we know now, little girl.
Go! I'm holding it.
Oh, I thought you were trying to open it, but you didn't know how to do it. No way.
What does
For
it
real?
say?
It says pregnant. I don't know how I feel. Weird.
So this was right around the time of Father's Day. So this was the end of June, I believe. I'll have to double check. But anyways, this was right around the time of Father's Day, and we had already had plans to like see each of our dads some point in that day. And I just thought that's probably the perfect time to tell our families. So I got like little onesies, and each gift that we gave our dads, I put in the onesie. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert a few clips here of us telling our dads and families.
As a baby?
No, you're not.
What does it say? What does it
No,
say?
you're not. What does it say?
We're gonna meet grandpa
And grandma.
No, you're not. For real?
aquí, lee aquí. Prendan. Que prendan. Ahora tienen que chuparle esta punta. No chuparla. Ya, bueno, está preñada. ¿Verdad?
Yeah.
¿Verdad?
Yeah.
Cuquito.
So as you can see, our families were really excited for the new addition, and they thought I was playing around in the beginning, but they quickly realized like, no, I'm being serious, especially because I did put the pregnancy test in each one of their gifts. So I think that kind of solidified it. But they were very excited, and again, ever since then, it's just been like baby mode to the max. So I found out I was pregnant when I was already about 4 weeks, and my first ultrasound was actually at 8 weeks, and that was just kind of like to confirm, yes, you're pregnant, there's a little heartbeat and all of that stuff. So I did find out pretty early on, and so I've known for a long time. And then we started my first trimester. So I'm really happy I got pregnant when I did, because my first trimester was a struggle. And so luckily for me, I was able to have my first trimester over the summer, and I wasn't actually working during this time. And if I had to be at work, I don't think I would be able to do it, because it was so bad. So a couple of my symptoms of my first trimester was I was definitely experiencing the morning sickness. Now, when they tell you it's morning sickness, you guys, that's a lie. It is not in the morning. It is all day, all night, all morning, every time of the 24-hour day. It was horrible. I was just nauseous all the time. I'm sorry, this is like kind of TMI, but I puked a lot after meals. Like I would feel fine, and then out of nowhere, it's just like boom. I would wake up almost every morning, and it was just over and over again. It was so bad for me. I don't know why it was so bad. I wasn't really eating anything different, but it was just really, well, I know why, I was pregnant, but it was just really bad for me. And I was like, wow, if this is what pregnancy is like, my whole pregnancy, like this is gonna be horrible. But thankfully that did really only last in the first trimester. I had a few episodes in like the second trimester, but my first trimester was honestly the worst trimester, I can say. Because of that, I was definitely feeling a lot more tired and sleepy throughout the day. I don't know, there's a lot of new change that my body was having to go through, and that my body's not used to. So it was I just felt exhausted all the time. Like literally this past summer, I was just laying in bed all summer long with a trash can next to me, lots of water. I tried doing the whole eating saltines as soon as you wake up. That didn't work for me. Actually, it was horrible. So it was a crazy experience. I was obviously happy because I knew I was pregnant, but it just wasn't the best trimester ever. So then we went into my second trimester, and this is when, sorry, there's like construction going on outside, and I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but my second trimester was honestly, I would say, probably the smoothest trimester. This is where my little bumps started to show. Again, I'll put in some pictures here. And, it was honestly really smooth. There was nothing I can complain about. We did have our gender reveal in our second trimester, which was amazing. I'll go ahead and insert some clips here of us finding out, and then a little bit of the actual gender reveal telling our family.
You think, guys?
I think so.
You're having a daughter. Congratulations! Do you see those legs open right there and nothing in between besides girl parts? You're having a girl.
1, 2, 3.
So I I did start showing around about 12-ish weeks during this time. Again, my bump was really, really small. Thankfully, the whole morning sickness had died down quite a bit. And this is when I did start to go back to work because it was now August time. School was starting back up and I did go back to work. So with me going back to work, it was honestly easy. Like it was normal. I wasn't like I was showing, but I wasn't big at all. I didn't have the morning sickness. I was able to eat pretty normally. So going back to work wasn't really that much of a challenge for me. And obviously I was already pregnant. So I was talking with my team that I worked with, and we already were like coming up with plans for when I would have to leave and all of that. So honestly, like I said, just going back to work wasn't an issue. And then having my second trimester was pretty easy. Nothing really crazy was happening. Of course, I was still pretty like more tired than usual, but not as bad as my first trimester. So it was definitely an easier transition, but this is where a lot of things started to change. So during my second trimester, I did start making my registry. I started thinking about like the theme of the nursery and the baby shower and all that stuff. But also my second trimester, I did get COVID, unfortunately. So that was a really, really scary time. My husband caught it first and then I got it, and we've been pretty safe. Like we do still, well, at that time we did still go out to like restaurants and stuff, but for the most part, we always had our mask on. We were sanitizing pretty often. So I'm not really sure where we got it from. My kids always wore a mask in the classroom too. So I'm not really sure, but we did end up getting it. And thankfully, through many, many prayers, we were able to obviously get through it. And COVID didn't really hit us as hard. For my husband, I think he got it a little bit worse than I did. The worst thing that I got was like, I just had a cough that just kept on going and going. So my doctor prescribed me some medicine and I was able to take that. But I was really nervous for baby girl because of all of the horror stories that you hear with pregnant women getting COVID and all just how bad it just sounded. So I was definitely afraid. But once I like actually got it and I was going through it, and then once I officially was over it, I was just so blessed. I felt so blessed, and I was just like, oh my goodness, thank God. And it really wasn't horrible. I can't say I got really bad body aches. I had a cough. Thankfully, I don't really think I had a fever. If I did, it was overnight, so I really didn't feel it. But it was just like a bad cold with some body aches. Those body aches did hurt. And from that, I did lose my sense of taste and smell for some time, so that was horrible. But other than that, we were able to get through it. My oxygen levels never dropped. Baby girl was consistently moving at this time. This was around October, so I did feel her moving a little bit more at this point. And, she was always good. My first appointment back after having COVID, we checked her heartbeat, we did an ultrasound, and everything was good with her, and she was absolutely perfect. So that was just a blessing, and I was really glad we were able to get through it. So fast forward, and now here we are in my third trimester. And honestly, weirdly enough, this has been my favorite trimester. And I don't know if it's because like it's starting to feel so real, or my baby bump is so big, or what. I'm not sure what it is, but this has been my absolute favorite trimester, even though I have some symptoms, which we'll talk about. So in my third trimester, I had my baby shower, which I'll go ahead and insert some pictures here as well. We had a baby shower. It was just a nice, simple baby shower. It was just in my backyard, just close friends and family came. And it was just a nice, simple time. I was a little bit worried to like have a big baby shower and like a big like venue. And I just didn't want to go through all that. I didn't want to go through the stress. I didn't want to go through the COVID risks, none of that. And of course the finances that come with planning something like that. So I just kept it really simple in my backyard. It was the cutest thing ever, just very nice and personal and intimate, and I probably wouldn't have had it any other way. But this is where the new symptoms started. So new symptoms, which I still currently have, the biggest one is heartburn. The heartburn that you get, and I've never been one to really get heartburn ever, so I never truly experienced what that felt like. But I have definitely experienced heartburn to the max with this pregnancy in the 3rd trimester. It is all day, every day. I have to take like meds every day for it, because if not, it gets so bad to where I can't breathe. Like I feel like I'm choking. And at night when we go to bed, I have to sleep reclined. If I sleep laying down, I literally can't breathe. It's so bad. So I don't know if that's normal in all pregnancies or what, but heartburn is the number one biggest thing that I would say is just horrible. And that has started in my 3rd trimester and has pretty much kept on till now. Actually, I have heartburn right now. So that's why I'm like taking deep breaths, and I do have water. I'm drinking, something else in my 3rd trimester. I am constantly drinking water. Like I was drinking a lot of water obviously throughout the pregnancy, but 3rd trimester, I just feel so dehydrated all the time. I just have to have water all the time. Aside from being dehydrated all the time, I'm hungry all the time. I just want to eat everything, like literally everything. We're driving, if I see McDonald's, I want fries. If I see like a Dairy Queen, I want ice cream. I just want to eat all the time, which I mean, I guess isn't a bad thing, but I am trying to eat a little bit healthier. I've never really been much of like a healthy eater with like lots of fruits and lots of veggies. I've never really been that person. So I am trying to incorporate a little more veggies and like smoothies, but it's hard, honestly, just because I'm hungry all the time. But that is another, I don't know if I want to call it a symptom, but definitely my 3rd trimester, I am hungry all the time. And I've always had a sweet tooth. Like I love eating fresh baked cookies and donuts and ice cream and all that bad stuff. But in my 3rd trimester, that has grown much more, and I just want sweets and chocolate and candy, not candy, but like, again, cookies and cupcakes and just sweets all the time. So I definitely try to limit myself, but I want it all the time. Oddly enough, I haven't really had crazy cravings throughout my pregnancy or even my 3rd trimester. The one thing that I've been into is like trail mix, like peanuts, almonds, things like that. But aside from that, like my only cravings, and it's not really I want it all the time, it's just kind of like I go for it at times, and sometimes I'm like I really want this right now, are like the trail mix, ice cream, or just eating like a baked potato like from Wendy's. Those are kind of like my go-to things, I would say. Oh, and I've been loving Caesar salad, like chicken Caesar salads. That's pretty good. So nothing like weird, like pickles with peanut butter or anything like that. But, and it's not like strong cravings. Like I don't wake up in the middle of the night and say, I need you to go get me this. Like I'm not really like that. But I have been just eating different things, especially the trail mix. I've never been a trail mix type of person. So that is something that I can say changed. So in my 3rd trimester, I was obviously still working during this time, and I can say that work got really hard, very, very hard. Not in the beginning of my 3rd trimester, but recently within the last 2 months of me being pregnant, work has gotten really, really, really hard. And it's just like, I have felt exhausted all the time. I was growing very quickly, and so I was wearing leggings every day. Like I could not wear jeans to work because they hurt. They were very uncomfortable. I just felt exhausted. I started feeling like pain, like the cramping and the moving of, everything going on in the belly. And so it did get really difficult for me, and I just felt just drained and exhausted all the time. And for those of you that are teachers, you know how much work goes into teaching. So it definitely was a lot more challenging than it had been for me. But luckily I did have my admin and my team and just other staff at school that have always been so supportive and like made sure I had everything I needed. If I needed anything else, they would get it for me. So they definitely helped me, but it was still pretty hard. And part of that is why I decided to go on maternity leave a little bit early, which I'll talk about in a little bit later. But other than that, like I said, 3rd trimester has been my favorite. I think also it's just because we're working a lot in the nursery, and my bump got a lot bigger, so it just felt that much more real. And like the time was going by quick. Now it's definitely dreading because she'll be here next week. So I'm so excited. But it's definitely going by so slow now, but it's fine. So something that changed in my third trimester too was that we actually found out that she was breached at this time, which was earlier in my trimester, in the last trimester. And so she was breached, so her feet were down and her head was up here. So the doctor had scheduled me to have a C-section. And so that's why my C-section has been scheduled for February 17th. But just recently, like last week, we did an ultrasound and she actually flipped. And so now she's head down, her little butt's over here and her legs are like somewhere over here. So I am still going to be induced on the 17th, unless she, goes back to breech, then we'll have the C-section. It's still scheduled just in case. But if she is still head down, I am going to be induced on the 17th. And I am nervous, but I am super ready to meet my baby girl. And I know it's exciting and nerve-wracking, and I've never experienced this before. This is my first pregnancy, first baby. So I just don't know what to expect. I know that at any time, anything can change. Like literally, it's just crazy. I know that every pregnancy, every labor and delivery is very different. So I don't know how it's going to be. All I know is that the 17th is the latest that she'll be here. Well, 18th if I have to labor all day. But all I know is I'm so excited and anxious, and we are just so ready to meet her. So a little bit about my maternity leave. So I ended up taking off 2 weeks before like the 17th. So I ended up only working the first few days in February, and then I've been off since because it takes so much to be a teacher, and I have just been drained and exhausted and just stressed, not because my job is a bad job, not at all, just because there's just a lot going on, and I wasn't able to really focus on the last part of my pregnancy. I wasn't able to really finish her nursery or really focus on me and making sure I'm good, getting the rest, getting the water that I need. I just was very focused on my job still, and I was just exhausted. I was really honestly done by that point. So I did decide to take a couple weeks before my due date so that I can just be able to focus on all the things that I've been pushing to the back burner and not been able to focus on my whole pregnancy because I've been putting work first. So I did take a few weeks off. I am going to take the full 12 weeks of my maternity leave. So that brings me right up until the last week or two of school. So I don't plan on going back to work for the rest of the school year, unless recovery is amazing and just everything is literally going smoothly. And I'm just what? I could go back to work for a little bit. But if I were to go back to work, I probably wouldn't be teaching my own kids again, which I'll touch on in a second. And it would just be again for that week or so. But as of right now, I don't plan on going back. Again, I'm pretty open to kind of what the future holds. But I did let my principal, I don't plan on coming back. If anything changes, then I will let you know. So with maternity leave, I know that some states and other counties even do it a little bit different. With my maternity leave, I was going to have a long-term maternity sub, but we actually decided to just split my class amongst the other 4 second grade teachers. So that way they can still get that core instruction and, they won't lose anything that I've taught them all year long. It just happened to work out better in my situation, in my school situation, if my kids were split amongst the other 4 teachers. And as I shared in my last vlog, it was a very smooth transition. I actually have been touching base with the teachers. All the kids are doing great and amazing. So it was actually worked out very, very well and everything's going good. But yeah, so I don't have a maternity sub. Again, my class is just split with the new teachers. So I don't really have a class anymore. For that reason, if I were to go back at the end of the school year for a week or so, I wouldn't pull my class back to me for just a week or so. I'd probably help and support the other classes and do any testing or anything else, pulling small groups, whatever I need to do if I were to go back. So as far as the future, I don't plan on going back to work next year. I plan on taking a year off and staying home with baby girl. That's just a choice that I feel is best for me and my new growing family. And my husband definitely wants that. And I just think it's the best option for us right now. So I am taking next year off. Now, if I'm able to teach online, then that is something I'm really considering, is like working from home online and teaching online. But I know that I'm not going back into the classroom to teach for next year. So again, I already spoke to my principal about all of that and, HR and all that. So we're all good to go with that. If I change my mind, I can always go back, but I'm like 99% sure that I'm not going to go back into the classroom next year. I'm just going to take the year off and be with my baby girl and see her grow. And like, I feel like the first year is just so full of milestones and big things. And this is my first kid and I really don't want to miss that. And I want to be there for her. And I don't know, I think, long story short, it's the best option for my little family. And so that's my plans for next year. So aside from that, like I said, third trimester has been amazing. Those are my plans. Oh, I'll insert some pictures too of like our maternity pictures, which I love our maternity pictures. They came out so, so nice. But that's pretty much kind of an very, very big overview of how my pregnancy has gone so far. Thankfully, and I just feel so blessed. Overall, it's been a pretty smooth pregnancy. The only like big thing that we were concerned about was COVID and then when she was breached. But regardless, we were able to get past both of those things. And I know that's not the case for every mama out there. So I definitely don't want to feel like I'm bragging at all or anything like that. But for me and my experience, it was a really good experience. And now that I only have a week and 2 days left, or less if she decides to come earlier, I'm just like, this is so surreal. Like, we are so excited for her, so anxious, just so ready for her to come, like right now. But of course, her timing and God's timing is perfect timing. But just like knowing that we have made it this far and she is almost here, I can say these last couple weeks are going by so slow. I'm just dreading them. But regardless, we're so close and she's almost here. And we're just so excited. So when she's here, I do plan on vlogging and just sharing more about just motherhood and her growth and just our life and, just kind of share a little bit of everything. I'm really excited to start this new journey as a mama. And I never thought I would be a mom. Like, ever since I was young, I just never thought that I would ever be able to be a parent. And now that the time is here, I feel so excited. I'm definitely scared because it's a new life change. But I'm more excited than anything. I know it's not going to be the easiest, but it's definitely going to be the most rewarding. And I'm so excited to experience having so much love, although she already has so much love for me, but so much love towards another human that I made, which is mind blowing. But I'm just so excited. I have no other words for it. And I'm so excited to share that with all of you and kind of grow with this community, because again, this is my first time ever doing any of this. So I'm definitely going to need a lot of support. I may have plenty of questions as we go on and she grows and I grow as a mama. So we'll see. But overall, I'm just excited and so ready for her to be here. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, it was a chatty one. It was just me sharing my pregnancy journey so far and my story and kind of where we are now. And like I said, baby girl will be here next week. So I am so excited for that. And I will definitely keep you guys posted. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and go ahead and like this video. Also, if you don't already, I do have an Instagram. I'll put my name here. And I usually post on there a little bit more often, if not before I post on YouTube. But now that, again, I'm not working and I am going to be a stay-at-home mama, which I'm so excited for, I'm hoping to post a little bit more on both. So if you have any other questions or comments or anything like that, go ahead and leave it in the comments section below and I'll definitely get back to you on those. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.